This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of Rockridge Resources, Mr. Grant Ewing. Grant, how are you this morning?
I'm doing very fine, thank you.
We are all eagerly anticipating the final assays from the last 3 holes of this first drill program to follow up, of course, on your 6 meters of 28 grams per ton gold that you announced on April 29th. And I know that's upcoming, but in the meantime, it looks like you were impressed enough with what you saw to double the size effectively of the land holding at your Rainy Gold project. With gold at $1,700 and a clear gold bull market, it seems like a timely staking of the land. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, certainly. So we've expanded our land holding at the Rainy project, and this was based on encouraging results that we've obtained from the first set of drilling, as well as we've got a far better now understanding of the geology of the district and how the gold occurs. So we've doubled our land holding effectively. We're controlling now about 28 square kilometers, and most of the land we picked up was to the north, contiguous to our current claim group, as well as to the west, on strike with what we've identified as a very prospective structural corridor that extends beyond the old claim boundary. Now on our western side, we butt up right against Newmont Gold, and they have the Borden mine, of course, about 35 kilometers to the west.
Now, I referenced that 6 meters of 28 grams per ton gold, and I know that was approximately 75 meters west of the historical drill hole that had returned 6.5 grams per ton gold over 8 meters. You just mentioned the company to the west of you, obviously, and the corridor that extends that way. Is that starting to look like that's where the high grade zone is leaning towards? Is that the current thinking?
Yeah, at this point, we're still developing an understanding of how the gold occurs. We know that where we see increased quartz veining, we have a better chance of higher grade gold. So to date, we've just drilled off an area that is about 250 meters long, and that's our drilling plus all of the historic drilling on this project. So just a very small area has been drilled, and most of that has just been near surface testing of the gold potential. Now, based on our current program, plus a lot of compilation and assessment of historic data, we think that this corridor that hosts the gold, where we've drilled to date, extends a considerable distance to the west. And if you go about 2 kilometers on trend with our drilling to the west, there's an area that in the past has been looked at, and there's some surface mapping done in that area. And there was pyrite and quartz carbonate veining identified. So this lines up nicely with where we're drilling, where we've done our drilling to the southeast. So we think we have a very extensive structural corridor to assess for its gold potential over the coming months on this project.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned that we have 3 holes pending, obviously, and we're expecting those. Timeline-wise, when would you expect to see those? Weeks, maybe a month?
Yeah, I would say within the coming days, we should have those back. And really what we're doing now is planning for the next step of exploration here. We know that this project has just been lightly tested and has excellent potential for new discovery. So we're now planning the next field program, which could occur as early as this summer. And then that would lead into the next drill program to assess the structural corridor thoroughly.
You drilled 9 diamond drill holes. There was approximately 2,070 meters. What did that program cost? Because if I recall correctly, it was relatively inexpensive given the results that you got and just the geological insights that you've been able to gather from the program.
Yeah, that's right. So we did a very cost-effective drilling program here. All-in costs were about $160 Canadian per meter. So that stacks up very nicely. I think the big advantage in this project is you can drive to it. It's about 2 hours southwest of Timmins. So you drive about half of that distance on a paved road and then onto a secondary road for the last half. So great access, great infrastructure in the region, and that leads to some very cost-effective drill programs.
You have a neighbor nearby, GFG, which just attracted Alamos Gold as a strategic investor. They've had some recent drill success. How far away is that property from you?
Yeah, so they've got a couple of projects in the district. Their main project that they announced results on recently is just to the northeast of us. So this is an area in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt, or the Swayze Greenstone Belt, we call it. It's a sub-province of the Abitibi that has excellent geologic potential. Several companies are working in this area, including some majors as well as other juniors like GFG.
Well, you have GFG, and then you have the big boys, right? You have IM Gold, you have Newmont, flanking you on each side. You have Timmins way up north to the northeast there. Definitely in the right address. I'm excited for the summer program. I'm looking forward, Grant, to having you back on as soon as you get assays from the pending 3 holes. Anything else that you'd like to add?
Yeah, excellent, Gerardo. Thanks for the call today. I think we're pretty excited to get going on the next program here. The summer mapping, sampling, and then drill lining up targets for drilling will be a good time for this company as we're really in virgin territory. This has been only weakly looked at in the past, this area, and we think there's great potential from new discovery here.
It's a good time to find gold. I expect the second half of the year to also be a good time to find more copper. I know that you still have, obviously, the Knife Lake deposit, which is a deposit that I'm excited about and that I believe will create a lot of value for shareholders. I couldn't help but notice that Barrick recently announced it was looking for copper and copper gold projects. So a lot of upside given the current market cap.
Yeah, and we're real happy to have a strong gold project as well as, you mentioned, a strong copper project. The Knife Lake project has a considerable copper resource identified and excellent potential for new discovery. So that will be lined up for further work in the future. And both projects provide, I think, shareholders of Rockridge with some great potential for shareholder value creation.
It's a good 1-2 punch. Thank you so much, Grant.
Okay, thank you.